Hello and welcome. I'm Ian Betson and this is Press Play, the podcast from Real Resilience, dedicated to all things tape and tape recorder. We are now available on a multitude of podcast directories from Apple, Google, Spotify and Pandora, to name a few. Now, whilst registering them, I checked for other podcasts aimed at the format we love. And you know what? I found nothing. So how does it feel to be part of something unique?
This is the Press Play podcast, brought to you by Real Resilience.
In this episode, we revisit pre-recorded tapes. Previous guest Oleg Nechachev returns to talk to us about Open Reel-to-Reel, his business that is selling new tape-based recordings from nearly 50 record companies, studios or artists worldwide. Now, the size of catalogue he offers is a real surprise and evidence that interest in open reel recording is not just a short-term fad. Then we're in conversation with one such artist on Oleg's roster and who is releasing his work, and that of others, on tape. Poland-based Adam Jasinski of AC Records. On my home soil, Real Resilience continues to keep open reel tape machines working. We've had a couple of refugees from BBC Cardiff in Wales. The BBC are relocating their operation in that city to another building, and when they do that, they invariably auction off all the old kit. Well, it saves moving it, I guess. 2 Studer A80s with butterfly record heads, wide guard band replay heads and a bespoke fader and monitoring unit were 2 such items a client purchased, and these have been brought back to operational condition. The client deals in the resale of vintage recording equipment, and these A80s will be ideal for studios wanting to record straight to tape. You can see pictures of them, I must add before the work started on them, on the Real Resilience Facebook page. Elsewhere, I've nearly completed work on a little personal project. It can only be described as blinging a Revox B77. Now, it's nothing drastic, I add, but I know some purists will shake their heads at what others do to their machines. You know, tweaking this or adding that, or adding parts that were never on the original machine. But ultimately, it's the owner's choice what they do with their machine, and in my case, the B77 will be a living room listening player, and, well, I wanted something a little less industrial looking than the B77 is inclined to be. I'll post pictures on the website in due course. I will be putting a lovely Akai 1720 up for sale on the website too. It's in excellent condition, in a blue leather look case. The L incidentally stands for leather. They did a W version too, with a wooden case. It's been completely stripped down and cleaned, the motor drive assembly put back together properly after I found it had been reassembled the wrong way round at some point in its life, and then serviced. Further details, again, on the website soon. Incidentally, I have other machines for sale on the site, a Studer B62, a Ferrograph Series 6, plus a couple of cassette decks from Technics and Denon. Now go to the website, www.realresilience.co.uk, and on the top right of the home screen is an orange button to take you to the for sale pages. So, to our first guest, Oleg Nechachev of OpenReel2Reel.com. Oleg, welcome back to Press Play.
Yeah, thank you, Ian.
How's it going? How's OpenReel2Reel.com going?
We're doing very well, actually. I mean, basically, Open Reel-to-Reel is to represent all audiophiles tape recording from major studios globally. And actually, it's not bad. It's picking up. I can see, more and more people starting interesting, what is currently on the market as a tape machine, and of course, for those tape machines, what they can play.
What are you finding with the take-up of the pre-recorded tapes? What is selling better?
I mean, at this stage, it's 48 studios exist who is releasing commercial reel-to-reel tapes. Really is a professional master reel-to-reel copy. And of course, that is 2 tracks, 15 EPSs. Real size, 10.5, inch size. Those different types of different RTM tapes they're using, some preferences, like STS, for example, using 35 LPR, another one, SMM 900, and so forth.
In the heyday of pre-recorded tapes, there was a lot of material that was 7-inch reels. Are people buying more 10.5-inch reels now with sort of buying professional machines that will take those reels?
Yes, correct. It's market slightly, split between those professional deck currently, like a Studer 800, 820, and those back old 60s, 70s Akai, Sonys, and so forth, which can only take 7-inch reel spool, and of course only play 7.5 EPS speed. But some of the videos globally is offering both speeds, 15 and 7.5, 2 tracks or 4 tracks. So which is I think is very good, and people more interesting what is new, fresh, tape recording or music is available, not those back, old days which you can outsource from eBay and other market.
Obviously, they're buying the professional reels. Are they buying it because of a particular genre, or is it just because it's at a 15 RPS recording? I mean, are they buying, say, jazz or classical, or even some of the rock and pop material we're seeing now?
I mean, these days, from those over 40 recording studios, most of them is available. It's really jazz, blues, and classical music. In my library, only one company is offering really new rock on double tapes from Greece. So rest of that, we're talking about quality of the sound, and nothing sounds better than of music on reel-to-reel tapes. Newcomers or people forgot about this format and come back, and of course they try to to play those old tapes, and sometimes it's not good enough, and they want to try something brand new. Make sure it's a really analog recording and a first copy of whatever production secondary master tape recording, because it's sometimes a little bit confusion,
Yes, I mean, I'll agree there. You're getting a lot of so-called master tapes being passed off that are perhaps sometimes even CD dubs. It's not really the done thing, really, is it, to pass that material off as a master tape?
Yeah, but in reality, we're calling, commercial master tape. We're calling about a master commercial tape, which is studio, is not something, available on eBay and a third party, whatever, trying to upsell you.
So you can trace the lineage back to say it was definitely a master tape or has been recorded in the analog domain.
Yeah, and a lot of studios is releasing those copies only limited quantities, 20, 50, and I think it's 100 is the maximum. Is wide as well. Those copies is very expensive. So people need to understand. This is not vinyl, which is you can print, 5,000, 10,000, in a plan. And of course, you making, company making margin. You can't do this tape, from this master to record 5,000 tapes.
You're probably dubbing them off in real time as well. So if it takes an hour on the recording, it's going to take at least an hour to dub off. What's selling best? Is it classical, jazz? You mentioned a bit of the rock from Greece.
Yeah, I mean, these days, mostly it's really jazz and blues is what I found.
And future releases, to get this straight, you are representing those perhaps recording companies that are producing this material on tape. Is that correct?
Yes, is that correct? OpenReel is really distributor of those over a dozen recording labels, studios, artists. We are not recording yet. I mean, I can think in the future what I do with recording or to do partnership with any studio or artist, help them to release their albums, their music on a tape.
You've sent me a couple of people that I definitely get round to interviewing in time, and they can be a feature of another podcast. But Lynn Stanley, I think, and there's a gentleman in America. Can you tell me firstly about Lynn?
Lynn Stanley is just American jazz singer. She currently released already 8 albums on a tape, and those releases albums available, of course, on a vinyl and super audio files CDs. I'm trying to help her to promote her releases here in UK and just pushing the market and just advise the people. Maybe you come across on Amazon, on eBay, Lynn Stanley on CD, but you didn't know she's releasing already 8 tapes, and it's available, of course, on a limited edition, limited quantities. Because we here in UK, we here in Europe, whatever American market is slightly different to us. Whatever is available there sometimes is not coming to Europe, because American companies don't have any distributors or headquarters themselves. So with a new artist like Lynn Stanley, of course, she needs a lot of help to promote her here in UK, in Europe.
Sure. Well, you're doing your bit and a bit for her, and that's great. The chap I do apologise to him, and I just remember his name. Is it René Laflamme? He's Canadian. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's Canadian. Yeah, he released. He's looking to present two HD recording studios, which is currently he's already as well pushing. I mean, lots of his stuff is available on a digital, this ESD format, on lots of streaming different marketplaces in America again. But he's starting, producing commercial master tape copies, and really, really successful. I received 100% positive feedback on his recording. Is the top of the top, I can say, sound, his tapes, whatever he is doing.
I see he's producing his material on Nagras. Is that correct, for judging by the pictures?
Yes, he is a Nagra professional. That is correct. And everything he's doing, recording himself on a Nagra, and he's doing dubbing, duplication of master tapes on a Nagra.
Certainly hitting the big time with using Nagras. Can't go wrong there. And you are representing him outside the US, is that correct?
Yes, correct. Representing him here, his releases in UK and Russia.
Okay, several companies. They've all got several titles. So how big is your catalogue on Open Reel to Reel now?
Already, I think it's closer to 600 titles. Let's say, yesterday, Brini released only 1 and 2 and 3, and it's already 8, and he's doing his job very well. Every 2 months he released new tape. Same is here with STS Analog. Last year they released couples, new ones, and is already on their catalog is 31 tapes is available. And if I'm talking about Chasing Dragons, and other people, and we're talking about 48, and each of them roughly average have 20, 30 titles of the tape. Some of them have 200. It's a problem with these studios. They're not really promoting themselves. You come across them, you asking the questions, and they're sending you, check on our website. But sometimes there is no answer. It's not really clear for me what is available, which format, which speed, which recording artist, and all these bits and bobs, and how initially those tapes come from, where it come from, when they've been recording, how they're doing duplications, just generic information. Oh, we're using this gear. Oh, sorry, this is something different. This is available in studio, this gear and these decks. But I want to make sure somewhere is written how are you going to do this copy for me.
I'd agree with that, and I don't wish to knock any of the companies that are producing these tapes, because they're going the extra mile. They're arranging the recording sessions and the recording on tape, which is a great thing. And 600 titles, I think is amazing. I didn't realise the market was so big. But as you've rightly just outlined, it's still a little bit, should we say, cottage industry, small scale, and although they're producing the recordings, they need that kind of extra push that you're giving it to actually sell these titles, because it's all very well producing the tape, but you've still got to sell the product, and that's the thing at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. And of course, all the studios need a little bit help just to spread the rumors and information about the recordings, the releases on tape, what is available or what is being released. Sometimes our fields as well want to know what the background of the studio, anything been released in the past decade, in the 5 years, last year, future releases, maybe they can double check with their friends, can borrow this tape, to play or come, to listen to the tape. Because there's lots of private audiophiles, tape collectors, and their libraries is monster, but they're not sharing this information at all.
I don't know if you've experienced this, but obviously with Real Resilience, I'm dealing more with the tape machines themselves rather than pre-recorded tapes, which is important. The two have to go together. But I found since the beginning of 2020 that I'm getting a lot of inquiries. People to say, I've bought this machine. I'm considering getting into the Open Reel format again. And I'm probably getting 2-3 inquiries a week now, whereas before it was probably last year, probably 2 or 3 a month. And it must mean that there's greater interest in the format. Is that something that you're seeing in pre-recorded tapes? People have got the machines now, they want something to play on them.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I have lots of, like yourself, lots of inquiries for tape recorders or consultation or advice. People is asking, I'm looking, to buy what is tape recorder is best one. I mean, what tapes for the future I can play or what is available for me, because if we're talking about lump sum of investments, people want to make sure the tapes is available. Of course, there's old people with lots of machines in the house, and of course they're recording themselves. They're just buying blank tapes and recording whatever from vinyl or any other sources. I have no idea what they're recording. Sometimes, again, people not sharing such information. But yes, very, very, very steady interest for analog sound, music on a tapes, for pre-recording tapes, for reel-to-reel DEX machines, whatever they are. And of course, myself, as an open reel-to-reel, I will support anyone in that niche, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it's still a small, but I think we're a growing band in all areas. You say support anybody involved in the reel-to-reel format, and yeah, there's not just pre-recorded tapes, not just people who are buying or servicing machines, but there's people producing accessories and other things for them, even if it's just sort of cases, new cases and side cheeks, and it's for the machines, and that's all great. It really is. Of all of the, I suppose, it's got to be careful here. You don't want to be too favoritism here, but of all the labels that you're representing, any particular ones that you might say one to watch?
Not really. I don't want to again to make others favorites, or people will accuse me, this is time because I'm distributing. But again, I know, like I said already, 2X HD, Areni doing a great job, 100% feedback. STS is well known, but if people asking me out of these 600 titles is available, what rock is there, I will say Naxxtrass 3 is available, guys, for you. And I won Analog Oscar in America last year. It's on a 2 tapes album. It's a new rock band, very successful, do lots of touring and everything. Vinyl is available, but a copy of this album is available on a tape.
Sounds good. Oleg Netichev of OpenReelToReel.com, I thank you for your time and thank you very much for appearing on the Press Play podcast. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and nothing sounds better than music on reel-to-reel tapes.
Press Play, the Real Resilience podcast, dedicated to all things reel-to-reel.
Oleg was outlining the issues over some record companies not having a clear idea of the format their recordings were offered in, what speed or reel size, and add to this must be the complication of track widths too. Now, leaving this latter point aside, we'll cover the subject of tape speeds. The rough rule of thumb is the faster the tape speed, the better the quality, since the waveform of the recorded signal is spread over a greater length of tape. Thus, dropout durations are reduced, and the signal-to-noise ratio, that's the difference between the volume between the wanted signal, the audio, and the background noise of the tape, is increased. Now, a higher speed also offers greater high-frequency reproduction, although at the expense of drop-off of the lower frequencies, but more on that later. But obviously, tape speed comes at the expense of the amount of tape that is used, and thus will limit the recording time available on a reel. Now, when I talk about tape speeds, I'm going to stick to inches per second, but if I tell you that 3 3/4 inches per second is 9.53 centimetres per second, when I talk about higher or lower speeds, which is just a doubling or halving of the speed, you can work out the metric equivalent easily. Halving the 3 3/4 speed gives us 1 7/8 inches per second, which is the speed cassette tapes run at. For open reel, this speed option is only found on domestic grade machines, as they offer a compromise of quality over longer recording time. Don't expect a machine of this grade to record or reproduce much above 10 kHz at this speed. It's okay for speech, but there is a noticeable loss of fidelity of music recordings. 3 3/4 and 7.5 inches per second are most usually found on consumer machines, but can also be found on professional machines too. 7.5 inches per second is the slowest professional recording speed, but was also used as the tape speed for pre-recorded tapes released in the 1960s and 1970s. again as a compromise between the tape used and its cost and the audio quality obtained. Doubling the speed again and then again, we get 15 inches per second and the top speed of 30 inches per second. 15 inches per second speed is the most common professional standard, offering around 30 minutes recording time on a 10.5 inch diameter spool of tape. Now, some entry-level pro machines will run at this speed. A version of the Revox B77 and the Technics RS 1500 and 1700 models are examples of this. 30 inches per second is the highest audio recorder speed you'll find commonly, although I'm sure there could be some faster scientific measuring instrument type machines out there too. 30 inches per second offers the best quality in terms of high frequencies and the signal to noise ratio, but is generally accepted that the lower frequencies, sub 100 Hz, roll off quicker than the same tape on the same machine but running at 15 inches per second. At the other end of the scale are two tape speeds, mainly 15/16 inches per second and the even slower 15/32 inches per second, are only considered acceptable for note-taking or audio logging. If you have the time and a calculator on your hands, do some calculations of the recording time you'll get from a 2,400 foot reel of tape at this speed.
Find Real Resilience on the web at realresilience.co.uk and on our Facebook page, Real Resilience.
As you heard, Oleg's OpenReel2Reel.com represents a number of companies producing new music on the open reel tape format. I caught up with the owner and artist of one of these a while ago, Adam Jasinski of AC Records. I opened up our conversation by asking Adam how long AC had been trading.
It's a young company actually, because I already started last year. I'm a musician. Yeah, I'm drummer since more than 35 years. I've been recording many recordings as a sideman and few as a leader before. All of them were put on the CDs. But last year I came with this idea to just start the real company and release vinyls. So now I have like 8 positions already on vinyls, and 5 on tapes, because many people asked me about tapes. If I'm producing tapes. So I said, yeah, why not? If people like it, why don't do it? So this is like this, yeah.
Okay, and what are the genres? You said you're a musician, and looking at your website, your background's jazz. Is that right?
It's mostly jazz, yeah. I'm playing different kind of music, but yeah, mostly jazz. Many great people. I've been playing for years with the greatest Polish guitar player, Jarek Śmietana, who is unfortunately not longer with us since 6 years. And I've been playing with Nigel Kennedy for years, violin player from London, and a lot of different things.
What's interesting is the fact that a lot of the audiophile recordings for tape are classical music, and you're obviously in the jazz genre. Are you finding that's taking off? There's good interest in it?
As I said, I'm just beginning to produce those tapes, and I sold few to be honest, but I have many requests, and I still develop, like for example cover, because I'm buying recording the masters tapes, LPR 90, which is a pretty good tape, and I was using original box and with some cover, from LP, but it didn't look for me very, this is like a high level product, yeah. So you need to give to the people something special. So I prepared last week wooden boxes with some nice logo of AC Records, and also with cover, which looks pretty much very good, and people like it. I just came back yesterday night from audio video show from Warsaw. It was 3 days, a lot of work. It's like huge exhibition. I had 12 events, projections in different places about my company, about my music. So yeah, people are really interested about this. I mean, the price is a kind of tricky, because it's not so cheap. But I'm still selling cheaper than, for example, STS, yeah, which is like $300 or nothing. So my tape is €450, which is okay.
What speed are you recording them at?
38, which is 15 inches, yeah.
I mean, you're recording them at any slower speeds, or are they 38 or centimeters per second is what people expect?
Yeah, I can do it because even Oleg told me that that there's many people who don't have the reel-to-reel tape machines with this speed, and they still want to have some tapes. So if somebody asks me, I can do like lower speed and also 4 tracks, yeah, because people are asking about this. But so far, I'm doing this like professional speed.
All your source material, where do you record it from? Is it analog recording?
Yes, I have 2 vinyls which are made not from analog recording. One is like old material with Jarek Śmietana, which I mentioned. It's called A Story of Polish Jazz, but I wanted to put it on vinyl because it's kind of it's a great record anyway, and I wanted to have some tribute to my old friend. So I put it on vinyl. The first recording with my band, which I did on computer, but all of them, I mean, all the rest are recorded on tape, 24 track Studer. So it's full analog.
Tell me about your latest release. Is it Piano Sketches? Is that right?
Actually, I have a newest one, which is called Groove Oberek, but Piano Sketches, yes, that is the previous one before the Groove Oberek. It's very interesting recording because when I was thinking about my label and what I'm gonna do, I had to set up some music, some ideas. So I was starting to think about something different, because you cannot put all the time trios, quartets, or quintets. It's kind of boring. And I came with this idea to invite 6 Polish great piano players, all of them my friends, like really top musicians. And I rented piano, Steinway pipe piano, which is tuned in 432 hertz, which is lower tuning that it's using now in these times. And we had like 2-day session. Everyone played one song, and it's really amazing. You can hear like everyone sounds different on the same setup, same piano. Different music and different ideas, different approach, and the sound is just amazing. It's like lower, bigger, warmer, and just great.
And was that recorded direct to tape then, direct to your 24 track, or would that have been just a 2-track if it was just a single?
We didn't use 24 tracks. Actually, I had 4 different mic setups for this recording, but finally I'm using only one mic. It's a Polish production. It's called HAM Devices. HAM Devices is a big stereo ribbon mic, which sounds just amazing. I mean, a lot of great studios in New York and the States and other places have already this mic. And believe me or not, when we finish the recording, we start to kind of mixing. I mean, there was any mixing, but working on the sound, we didn't touch even one button. I mean, no corrections. It's like pure from the mic.
Really? Just
yeah.
The sound the piano made, the sound the player made, you just captured on one mic and put it direct to a stereo recording.
Exactly.
Wow, that's interesting. That's really good. And you said it was 6 piano players, but were they all playing just the same piece, or was it different pieces? I mean, were we comparing the different players with exactly the same setup, or was it different pieces?
I didn't say anything about what they should play or what. I said, like, you're free, just one thing. The song should be like 6 or 7 minutes because, vinyl, you can put like 20, 21 minutes or 22. That's it. So, everyone play their own songs. I think, one guy, he's playing one standard and one song composed by my friend from Los Angeles, bass player. But the other ones play original songs. And I knew it because I knew them since years. I knew that everyone will be completely different from the other one. So it's really interesting. And being producing this kind of recording, is like really mystic thing, because you see how different they are, how different approach to the music, and everything is like just amazing.
Looking at your website, I've just you mentioned your latest release. Is it Groove Berek? Is that right? Have I pronounced that right?
Yeah. Oberek is a Polish folk song. So this is my composition, and I compare, like, first part is kind of Oberek, which is Polish waltz, my melody and harmony, and it's like short number. And this is also recorded on this one mic, but this time quartet. Great violin player and composer Krzysztof Dębski, a Polish guy, and my band, my trio. So we did like old days, the one mic on the middle of the studio, violin very close, guitar, acoustic guitar a little bit further, and the bass half meter, further, and I was sitting with drum and some percussions, like maybe 4 meters, from the mic.
So an internal balance, yeah, I see.
And then the second part is groove. It's kind of rock and roll, so it's
right. I see. Did you record that straight down to your 2-track recorder?
No. Everything was recorded on 24 track.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking about to record on straight to the 1/4 inch tape, but my engineer says that the 2-inch tape has a deeper sound, more dynamics and stuff, and then it's always better to record, even if you have just put it on the 24 track, and then after mix or after mastering, just put it on the.
What machine is a 24 track?
It's a Studer.
A Studer. What, the A800 or
800?
A Studer 800. And also I see that you're mastering to a Telefunken M15A, is it? And then you're dubbing onto an A807 Mark II, right?
Yeah.
So it's all high-end stuff. That's good. I mean, are these your machines, or does the studio own them?
I have a Revox PR99, the third version, and then 2 weeks ago I bought this Telefunken M15A. I was thinking about doing by myself, but I'm actually too busy. I'm doing everything by myself.
I see from your website, your shop and the releases you made, and then you're recording it, and you're obviously producing it as well, and then you're dubbing it and marketing it. Yeah, is there another hour in the day? And you just come back from a gig, is that right? So
yeah, I had in my hometown. I have a CD and vinyl with the Polish pop songs from last century, very like popular songs. So they invited me, and it was very nice. Just come back revival. In my hometown was when I was born. My parents were there, and then my old teachers and old friends. Very nice week.
You've got looking at about 4 releases on tape. I see you've got Hollywood Trio in a sentimental mood, and we've just mentioned Groove Berek and Piano Sketches. Are you planning any more releases on tape?
I'm gonna do soon Friends Music of Jarek Śmietana. This is a recording I made after my friend passed away, and first that was. Of course, I recorded on tapes, but first I released a CD, double CD, because there's like a lot of music, 33 musicians together. So I had a recording session in New York, Los Angeles, Warsaw, and Krakow. So we have like all Polish great players. I mean, the idea was to invite the people who play with Jarek. So Polish great top players, and then I invite Larry Goldings. I invite John Scofield, who plays on 2 tracks, and Eddie Henderson, Gary Barth, so like really top class musicians. And then I released vinyl. That was my first vinyl. I've done it, I think, 5 years ago. I didn't have any idea how to do it, and that was my first step into this. And then I bought my first turntable, because I'm from digital era. I've done first professional recording in Poland, which was put it on vinyl, but this was last vinyl produced in Poland. So then was only CD, so I have like a lot of CDs. So I bought like 5 years ago turntable, and then start to collect vinyls. I just fall in love in the sound, and now I'm planning to do tape. Maybe not with the whole material, but because this is like double album. It's like 80 minutes of music, even more. So maybe I choose some of the songs and put it on the tape. But definitely I want to do it.
The AC Records site can be found at www.acrecords.pl. Adam has a shop there, or you can get the tapes from Oleg. OpenReelToReel.com can be found on Facebook. Just type the name into the search bar. My thanks go to Adam Jasinski and Oleg Netachev for their time in those interviews. If you're a company producing parts, accessories, pre-recorded tapes, or providing a tape machine sales or support, or an individual passionate about the format, then please drop me a line. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. That's the international beauty of tape and, of course, podcasts. And I'll be more than happy to get you on future episodes of the Press Play podcast. The best way to contact me about this is via the submission form on the Real Resilience website. Now that can be found at www.realresilience.co.uk, and the resilience is spelt RESILIENCE. Real Resilience, all one word, RESILIENCE. And there's a Facebook presence too. Search for Real Resilience in the search bar. In both places there are links to past podcasts too. Finally, there is a YouTube channel. All the podcasts are there, plus other videos as we upload them. Again, on YouTube, search for Real Resilience and you should find something. Don't forget to check out the website and the machines we have for sale, and of course the shop. Currently there is a range of NOS parts for the UA 4000 series, oil for Studer machines, and a range of handy test leads for lining up your machine. That's it for this conversation of the Press Play podcast from Real Resilience. Next time we will be in conversation with Steve Fensom about the time he took a deep breath and took apart a perfectly working and hard to come by Studer A810 processor card to see how it was made. It all works out well in the end, but you'll have to listen to find out. Until we talk again, be it open reel or cassette, pre-recorded or dubbed, the reason is clear why we love tape and tape recorders, so let's keep it real. Oh, and the recording time of 2,400 foot of tape at 15/16 inches per second? It's about 8.5 hours.